I'm actually double majoring now in English and history, and I find the two of them complement each other really well because in the history classes I get to learn all the historical context of whatever I'm reading in my English classes currently, and it goes together really well, and it helps me understand the literature a lot better. I have a really, really strong interest in writing. Writing has been my favorite thing to do since I was about 11 years old, I think. And so throughout my high school years, I pursued various kinds of creative writing. Like I wrote a lot of poetry. I wrote fan fiction on the internet for a while and lots of short creative fiction. I wrote a novella when I was 18. Lately, I've been trying to branch out a little bit and explore more things that I could do with writing. Like I have internet blogs, and I have a weekly column in the Volant, which I use to explore more positive, like optimistic kinds of writing. That's been really helpful. Is European literature too. It's a seminar class that has a theme of looking into love relationships that with like a more cynical approach, kind of reading a lot of tragic romances, love stories that don't really have a happy ending or never really get off the ground, and just talking about the kinds of effects that has on a character or person in the long term. And it's just been really interesting. I've really enjoyed everything I've read for it. All right, I'm going to read a section of A Farewell to Arms by Ernest Hemingway. I'm actually going to read the end because it's my absolute favorite part of a book that I've ever read, ever. So, here we go. Upstairs, I met the nurse coming down the hall. I just called you at the hotel, she said. Something dropped inside me. What is wrong? Mrs. Henry has a hemorrhage. Can I go in? No, not yet. The doctor is with her. Is it dangerous? It is very dangerous. The nurse went into the room and shut the door. I sat outside in the hall. Everything was gone inside of me. I did not think. I could not think. I knew she was going to die, and I prayed that she would not. Don't let her die. Oh God, please don't let her die. I'll do anything for you if you won't let her die. Please, 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 dear God, don't let her die. Dear God, don't let her die. Please, 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 don't let her die. God, please make her not die. I'll do anything you say if you don't let her die. You took the baby, but don't let her die. That was all right, but please don't let her die. Please, please, dear God, don't let her die. The nurse opened the door and motioned with her finger for me to come. I followed her into the room. Catherine did not look up when I came in. I went over to the side of the bed. The doctor was standing by the bed on the opposite side. Catherine looked at me and smiled. I bent down over the bed and started to cry. Poor darling, Catherine said very softly. She looked gray. You're all right, Cat, I said. You're going to be all right. I'm going to die, she said, then waited and said, I hate it. I took her hand. Don't touch me, she said. I let go of her hand. She smiled. Poor darling, you touch me all you want. You'll be all right, Cat. I know you'll be all right. I meant to write you a letter to have if anything happened, but I didn't do it. Do you want me to get a priest or anyone to come and see you? Just you, she said. Then a little later, I'm not afraid. I just hate it. You must not talk so much, the doctor said. All right, Catherine said. Do you want me to do anything, Cat? Can I get you anything? Catherine smiled. No. Then a little later, you won't do our things with another girl or say the same things, will you? Never. I want you to have girls, though. I don't want them. You are talking too much, the doctor said. Mr. Henry must go out. He can come back again later. You are not going to die. You must not be silly. All right, Catherine said. I'll come and stay with you nights, she said. It was very hard for her to talk. Please go out of the room, the doctor said. You cannot talk. Catherine winked at me, her face gray. I'll be right outside, I said. Don't worry, darling, Catherine said. I'm not a bit afraid. It's just a dirty trick. I went into the room and stayed with Catherine until she died. She was unconscious all the time, and it did not take her very long to die. Outside the room, in the hall, I spoke to the doctor. Is there anything I can do tonight? No. There's nothing to do. Can I take you to your hotel? No, thank you. I'm going to stay here a while. I know there is nothing to say. I cannot tell you. No, I said. There's nothing to say. Good night, he said. I cannot take you to your hotel? No, thank you. It was the only thing to do, he said. The operation proved. I do not want to talk about it, I said. I would like to take you to your hotel. No, thank you. He went down the hall. I went to the door of the room. You can't come in now, one of the nurses said. Yes, I can, I said. You can't come in yet. You get out, I said. The other one too. But after I had got them out and shut the door and turned off the light, it wasn't any good. It was like saying goodbye to a statue. After a while, I went out and left the hospital and walked back to the hotel in the rain.